The massive fleet of the Kracktar Empire advanced towards Earth, confident in their superior technology and sheer numbers. Commander Zlaxy, aboard the flagship Crazy Talon, studied the tactical display with an air of smugness. By their calculations, conquering this primitive planet would be a simple task. Little did they know that humanity had detected their presence long before their arrival. The sleeping giant had awakened, rallied, and now lay in wait, seething with fury. The Kracktar fleet moved with the precision of a well-oiled machine, each ship maintaining perfect formation as they closed in on their target. Their vessels, sleek and ominous, bristled with weapons capable of laying waste to entire cities. Confidence radiated from the fleet, born from countless victories over other civilizations. Earth was to be just another conquest, another feather in their cap. On the bridge of the Crazy Talon, the air was electric with activity as the crew prepared for the final stages of their invasion. Commander Zlaxy watched with a sense of smug anticipation as holographic images of Earth and its moon flickered before him. He was confident that their superior technology and overwhelming numbers would ensure a swift victory. Despite humanity's seemingly rudimentary technology by galactic standards, he was fully aware that taking the planet would present significant challenges. The human resistance, which had been grossly underestimated, was now proving to be a formidable obstacle. Hundreds of stealth warships and orbital defense platforms had emerged, encircling both Earth and Luna. The once confident Kracktar fleet now faced a well-prepared and resilient defense, revealing the true extent of humanity's readiness for battle. Zlaxy's mandibles clicked in irritation, but he quickly dismissed his annoyance. The Kracktar fleet vastly outnumbered and outgunned the humans 3-1. Their soldiers, bred specifically for conquest, were stronger, faster, and more savage than the pink apes could ever hope to match in close quarters combat. Confident in their superiority, Zlaxy gave the order to advance. As the plasma cannons charged and readied, the Kracktar fleet slowed and unfurled into attack formation at 20,000 kilometers out from their target. The anticipation of an easy victory filled the air, despite the formidable defense posed by humanity's unexpected resilience. Yet something was amiss. The human warships remained motionless, steadfastly guarding Earth and the moon without any sign of aggression or fear. Were they paralyzed by terror in the face of the massive Kracktar force? Perhaps they hoped to beg for mercy. No, thought Zlaxy uneasily. Human communication had made it clear surrender was not an option. They were planning something, but what? A trap? Some new secret superweapon? The uncertainty gnawed at him as he contemplated the humans' unexpected calmness in the face of impending doom. Alarm klaxons blared. "Commander, multiple TTL signatures detected," shouted his sensor officer. Zlaxy looked at his display in confusion and horror as hundreds more human vessels suddenly blinked into existence on all sides, totally encircling the Kracktar. The ships were sleek and bristling with gun ports, but they had not been there a moment before. A chilling realization dawned on Zlaxy. The humans had mastered faster than light teleportation technology, and now the Kracktar fleet was cut off from escape and surrounded. The hunter had become the prey. All ships, ready main batteries. Target the flagship and fire on my command, came the human admiral's orders over the communication channel. Zlaxy looked on helplessly as thousands of railguns and plasma batteries swiveled to point directly at the heart of his fleet. Perhaps we should not have enraged the humans after all, Zlaxy thought grimly as the human ships unleashed hell upon them. The opening salvo from the human fleet tore through the unprepared Kracktar ships like tissue paper, destroying dozens of cruisers and frigates instantly. Alarm klaxons wailed on the Crazy Talon as explosions cascaded across the flagship's hull from direct railgun hits. The hull's metal groaned under the relentless assault, sending shockwaves through the entire ship. Zlaxy gripped his command chair, his mandibles clenching in frustration and fear, as the bridge pitched and tossed violently under the withering bombardment. The Kracktar were facing a catastrophe they had never anticipated. "Return fire," he bellowed, his voice echoing through the chaos of the bridge. "Target their flagship and largest vessels first." Kracktar plasma cannons and torpedoes streaked towards the massed human fleet in a desperate counterattack, only to be intercepted by the humans' advanced defensive systems. Defensive laser grids and railgun point defense systems sprang to life, intercepting most of the incoming fire. Only a few scattered shots managed to connect, melting the outer plating of some human ships, but failing to penetrate their formidable shielding. The Kracktar offensive was being systematically neutralized. It soon became clear the Kracktar were totally outmatched. Zlaxy watched in dismay as one Kracktar heavy cruiser after another blinked out of existence on his tactical display, shredded by the humans' overwhelming firepower. How had the humans built so many advanced warships right under the Kracktar's snouts? Their last intelligence reports showed the humans to be fractured and technologically inferior, yet they had somehow unlocked technologies thought to be decades away even for the powerful Kracktar scientific caste. The Crazy Talon shuddered violently as another barrage of missiles detonated against its weakening shields. Cracks began to spiderweb across the bridge viewport, a stark indication of the relentless pounding the ship was enduring. The structural integrity of the vessel was rapidly deteriorating, and it became clear that they couldn't withstand much more of this onslaught. The situation was becoming increasingly dire, and the Kracktar forces were on the brink of catastrophic failure. "All ships focus fire on the human flagship," ordered Zlaxy desperately. "We must." His words were cut off as a railgun slug punched straight through the bridge hull. The atmosphere vented in a split second, sucking Zlaxy and his bridge crew out into the frozen void. The magnetic rounds continued punching through the cruiser's interior compartments, bursting fuel lines and munitions magazines as the Crazy Talon erupted into a series of fiery detonations. On the human flagship Valiant, Admiral Adams watched grimly as escape pods and Kracktar wreckage streamed away from the disintegrating alien ships. Less than 5 minutes into the battle, the Kracktar fleet was already coming apart at the seams, their formation shattered and their ships in ruin. "This is almost too easy," he thought, his expression unwavering as he observed the scene. The human fleet's superior tactics and firepower had quickly turned the tide, making what could have been a fierce battle a decisive and swift victory. "Shall we pursue and finish them off, Admiral?" his lieutenant asked. "Negative. Let them run back to Kracktar with their tails between their legs," Adams replied. "Our message today was clear. Humanity will not tolerate unprovoked attacks on our worlds." As the last smoldering Kracktar wreck faded off his display, Adams opened a channel to Earth. "Mission accomplished," he reported. "The incursion has been repelled." Cheers erupted across all channels from the lunar bases and defense platforms. On Earth below, humanity celebrated their victory and marveled at the quantum leap in their technological prowess. The Kracktar had poked a sleeping dragon and would not soon forget the consequences. After their crushing victory over the Kracktar incursion, a mood of triumph and celebration swept across human-controlled space. News of the battle spread like wildfire, and billions watched rebroadcasts of the Kracktar fleet being ripped to shreds. Humanity had faced its first true interstellar trial and passed with flying colors. However, in the corridors of power, there was a somber reckoning of the new reality humanity found itself. They were no longer isolated and technologically inferior. Unlocking the quantum wormhole drive had catapulted them overnight into the big leagues, but also painted a target on their heads. Humanity needed to expand its defenses, and quickly. Construction soon commenced on more orbital shipyards, defensive platforms, and rapid manufacturing centers on Mars and the Moon. A new wave of wormhole-capable warships began rolling off the assembly lines, bristling with exotic metals and advanced weapon systems. Admiral Adams stood looking out the expansive viewport of the new Orion-class dreadnought, Dominion, one of the first ships of its kind. This immense vessel, stretching an impressive 15 kilometers in length, boasted enough firepower to slag a small moon with ease. The Dominion was a marvel of human engineering and military might, symbolizing the pinnacle of technological advancement and strategic capability. He was to take command of the first long-range battle group, a critical task force assigned with patrolling and securing human colonies up to 50 light years from Earth. The responsibility weighed heavily on his shoulders, but Adams felt a surge of pride and determination. The Dominion and its accompanying fleet would serve as both a shield and a deterrent, ensuring the safety and stability of humanity's far-flung settlements in the galaxy. As he prepared for the mission ahead, the Admiral knew that their success would be pivotal in maintaining the hard-won peace and prosperity of human-controlled space. "Admiral, we've received an update from Kracktar," reported Commander Lewis. "The aliens have increased their military presence around the storm zone bordering our space. Several battle fleets are moving to reinforce their outposts." Adams nodded grimly, acknowledging the formidable challenge ahead. The vast interstellar nebula storm, ominously known as the Tempest Cloud, marked the current volatile border between human and Kracktar space. This turbulent region of space had long been deemed impassable, a natural barrier that even the most advanced civilizations had avoided until the advent of the revolutionary quantum drives. These new technologies now allowed for navigation through the tempestuous region, altering the strategic landscape significantly. With the introduction of quantum drives, the previously impassable Tempest Cloud had become a potential corridor for conflict, making skirmishes between human and Kracktar forces seem almost inevitable. The uneasy calm that had persisted was now threatened by the possibility of clashes within this newly accessible expanse. Adams understood that the stakes were higher than ever. The control of this volatile border could dictate the future of human and Kracktar relations. The potential for conflict loomed large, and the Admiral knew that strategic foresight and preparation were paramount to navigating the turbulent times ahead. "They're testing our resolve," Adams replied, "probing to see if we've overextended ourselves after our recent technology leap." "Have they made any aggressive moves?" "Not yet. Their ships have stayed on their side of the storm zone. No border violations." "Then neither will we make the first move or show any weakness," said Adams. "Dispatch a carrier group and 2 destroyer squadrons to patrol our side of the border. Priority missions are reconnaissance and intelligence gathering. Under no circumstances are they to cross the storm zone or take offensive action. Is that clear?" "Yes, sir," Lewis replied, heading off to relay the orders. Despite maintaining an even tone, Adams felt the immense weight of humanity's future pressing heavily upon his shoulders. The safety of millions now hinged on the effectiveness of the long-range battle groups and orbital defenses tasked with protecting the far-flung human colonies. This responsibility was grave and daunting, yet he bore it willingly and with determination. The Kracktar might boast superior numbers and extensive experience, but humanity possessed unparalleled innovation, unwavering grit, and a righteous fury that burned brightly. Adams silently vowed that the Kracktar would come to bitterly regret the day they dared to cross swords with mankind. His resolve was unwavering, fueled by a deep-seated determination to protect humanity's future at all costs. The Kracktar's underestimation of human resilience and ingenuity would be their downfall. With a steely resolve, Adams prepared for the inevitable confrontation, knowing that the battle ahead would test the limits of human courage and resourcefulness, but confident that humanity would prevail. The following weeks were filled with palpable tension, though no direct clashes erupted as both factions continued to amass their forces along the volatile border. Adams, ever vigilant, couldn't shake the unease he felt regarding the Cracktars' atypical restraint. The lack of action seemed suspicious, leaving him to ponder whether they were secretly plotting a larger, more strategic move. His suspicions were confirmed during a crucial high-level briefing at Fleet Command. The briefing, attended by the top brass, revealed significant intelligence that shed light on the Cracktars' activities. The realization that the Cracktars in action might be part of a more insidious plan only heightened the sense of urgency and preparedness among the human forces, further intensifying the already strained atmosphere. "We've detected concentrated ship movements within one of the larger Kracktar colonies bordering the storm zone," reported the intelligence officer. "Long-range imaging shows them assembling what looks like an invasion fleet near the planet's moon. Over 200 capital ships so far, and more arriving daily." Murmurs of alarm rippled through the briefing room, spreading like wildfire among the gathered officials. The tension was palpable as everyone processed the dire implications. Suddenly, a hologram of the moon flickered to life in the center of the room, casting an eerie glow over the assembled faces. The image revealed mile-long Kracktar troop carriers and bristling battle cruisers gathered menacingly in orbit, their formidable presence impossible to ignore. The sheer scale of the Kracktar fleet was intimidating, each vessel a testament to their military might. The holographic display showcased the troop carriers, massive and imposing, designed to transport countless soldiers ready for invasion. The battlecruisers, armed to the teeth with advanced weaponry, added to the ominous tableau, their silhouettes a stark reminder of the threat looming over the human colonies. The briefing room fell into a tense silence as the gravity of the situation settled in. Each person was acutely aware of the challenges that lay ahead. "That moon houses one of their major fleet academies and rallying points," rumbled Admiral Novak. "It appears they are preparing for a major offensive. But amassing such a force will leave their central colonies weakened and exposed," said Admiral Locke, confusion evident on her face. "They'd be incredibly vulnerable to counterattack." Adams nodded slowly as he meticulously studied the augmented reality display of the Kracktar fleet. His eyes scanned the detailed holograms of the enemy vessels, noting their positions and formations. A plan began to crystallize in his mind, taking shape with each passing second. His strategic instincts were sharp, honed by years of experience in interstellar warfare. He knew the gravity of the situation demanded a decisive and swift response. "Not if they mean to strike quick and hard at our core worlds before we have time to respond," he thought, his mind racing through possible countermeasures. Adams understood the Kracktar's strategy, a sudden, overwhelming assault aimed at the heart of human territory to catch them off guard. As he pondered the scenario, he considered the necessary steps to thwart their plans, leveraging the human fleet's strengths and the element of surprise. The responsibility weighed heavily on him, but he was resolute in his determination to protect humanity from the impending threat. The implications sank in among the gathered brass and government officials. The Kracktar sought to deal a crushing first blow and decapitate humanity's leadership in one fell swoop. It was a high-risk gambit, but one that could cripple humanity's expansion if successful. "We must strike first," Adams said decisively. "Hit that fleet before it launches. Cripple them while they're still missing and their defenses are weak. If we delay, they could scatter, making it impossible to pin them down." After a moment of tense deliberation, the consensus was reached. Humanity would take the fight to the Kracktar. The operation was code-named Hammerfall, a combined fleet of humanity's most advanced warships, led by the Dominion, prepared to jump across the storm zone. As the ships powered up their wormhole drives, Adams addressed his gathered crew and the millions watching across human space. "Today, we carry humanity's hopes and dreams into battle, he declared. We fight not just for our own lives, but for the future of all who look to the stars and see a new dawn for our kind. We will show the Kracktar the strength and spirit of humanity. We will fight, we will endure, and we will prevail. With a brilliant flash, the combined fleet tore a path through the fabric of space-time, emerging from the storm zone directly into Kracktar territory. Caught off guard, the Kracktar fleet scrambled to respond as humanity's ships unleashed their fury. Railguns, plasma lances, and quantum torpedoes turned the void into a seething maelstrom of destruction. Adams's strategic gambit paid off. The Kracktar fleet, still organizing and refueling, was unable to mount a coordinated defense. Human ships darted in and out, targeting key vessels and supply depots, spreading chaos through the enemy ranks. Despite taking heavy losses, humanity's forces remained relentless, pressing the attack with unyielding determination. After hours of brutal combat, the Kracktar fleet was shattered, and their invasion plans were reduced to smoldering wreckage. The few surviving Kracktar ships fled into the storm zone, pursued by vengeful human squadrons. On the bridge of the Dominion, Adams allowed himself a rare moment of triumph as the last Kracktar warship blinked off the tactical display. Humanity had not only repelled the invaders, but struck a decisive blow deep in enemy territory. The message was clear. Humanity was no longer prey, but a formidable force to be reckoned with. As the fleet regrouped and began the journey back to Earth, Adams knew this was just the beginning. The Kracktar would undoubtedly seek revenge, and other hostile species lurked in the galaxy's depths. But humanity had proven its mettle, and together they would face whatever challenges the cosmos threw their way. With new allies rallying to their cause and their technological prowess growing by the day, humanity stood ready to carve out its place among the stars. The road ahead would be long and perilous, fraught with challenges and unforeseen dangers. Yet, they would walk it with heads held high, driven by the unyielding spirit that had carried them through the darkest of times and into the light of a new dawn. This unwavering determination and resolve would be their guiding force as they ventured into the vast unknown, prepared to overcome any obstacle in their path.